How do you think this intelligence integrate with architectural thinking? I'm wondering about, more and more, what is our role as architects? If it can produce drawings and images and text, and what is our role?
This is a big question, a very big question. This is exactly what I'm asking myself when I do this school of architecture. Yeah. Who they will be my students?
Yeah.
And I don't know. And how will they practice? Because they will not practice as myself, but I'm already not practicing as my teachers. It's every time the same. But this time it's a big step that we are creating. So, and if you think about, I have a little story to tell before. Mm-hmm. There is an advertisement that I was receiving sometimes recently, and my assistant at the same, that there is a guy talking in front of the camera that saying that he has a house and he wanted to do the interior design of his. And he said, I asked my wife to do the interior design. Why is the wife? I don't know. And but she couldn't do it. I asked AI and he did it. And I said, my God, this is so sexist. This is so bad. And this is an AI which is very sexist at the same time. Yeah. But I was thinking at the same time, if he has to design a house, maybe the AI will design a house. I'm sure that it will design a house. So what, as an architect, we can do with that? So you have to understand how to be creative, to inform, because we are informing this machine, this algorithm. When this is the same that we inform ourselves when we are doing sketches on the paper, and which is more difficult for the young people today, but okay, we can do it. And we have to be able to think how to develop that, and to be creative, to be unique, and to propose solutions which are not the same. Because if you look at the drawings the images that the machine is giving you, this is so obvious. And I was always thinking at the beginning, when I tried at the beginning some years ago, that it was postmodern, because it was accumulating images and accumulating the drawings from the past, from before you start. But now it goes so fast that it's immediate. So this is immediately what is able to do, so maybe what you are able to do yourself. So we have to understand how to make it as an assistant in the drawing and the design conception. And I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
Yeah, it's a difficult question to answer. I remember a long time ago, maybe it was more than 10 years, there was some discussion on some Facebook group about AI developing plans, and like all architects, so this is so bad, and this will never change architects, and we have this type of thinking. I was just thinking about chess, and how the first game, I think Deep Blue and Kasparov, they played, and Kasparov, I think, lost or played a Remy or something like that, and everyone's like, okay, we survived this. But then the question immediately rose, what will happen in 5 years? Because no one thought that the computer will be able to play. So it's certain tasks, you have a certain constraints, you give the size and the shape of the room, and you just say play chess, and he will start moving and make different combinations. So it will do better than us. Different,
not better. Because how do you judge this is better?
Exactly. What are the criteria? Yes,
it depends of you.
Yeah, and then
not of it.
Yes,
it depends of you.
Yes, because we come back to the idea of or the notion of the knowledge. You have to ask why this is good and why this is not good, and okay, I don't need this for this kind of task. And as you said, it's always going affirmatively. Whatever you put in, it says yes. So,
and this is also a question of how you can manage that to be more, how can I say, to be more self-critical, because you have to develop your own self-criticism. You have to be able to do that. And it's why I always say to the student, I start to think about the students like that for being self-critical, they have to be able to read, because they have to be able to describe, to explain what they want. If their vocabulary is very short, if their way of writing is very short, because they don't read, it will be a bit minimal. But the more deeper they are reading, the more intense they are reading, they are developing their brain, and it's a question of today, because the young people in schools are not reading at all, because they are not unable to read a long text. They are able to read only abstract. and it's very particular. So this is a challenge today for teaching.
Exactly, but I went to high school, architectural high school. I didn't go like to gymnasium. So we have here technical high school. So it's 4 years of architecture before studying architecture, and you were doing like technical drawings, and we were mostly drawing by hand. And I was always asking myself, why am I doing this? This is so boring. You have a computer, it can do it fast. But then when I came to faculty, and maybe after 2 or 3 years, it took me 7 years to understand why we were doing this manual work.
And why?
The same reason why you do math and you have calculators, right?
Yeah.
Because you're practicing a certain way of thinking, a certain logic. So,
but for me, it's a question of also, I always explain that very simply, that the distance between your hand and your brain is longer than your eyes into the screen.
Yes.
And when you look at the screen and you want to design a circle, it has to be precise. When you do a circle by hand, you start by doing that, and you go further, and it becomes an ovoid. Why not? And you ask yourself, why not an ovoid instead of a circle? If with a machine, we can't do that.
Yes, and there's also, it removes the mistake.
Yes.
It moves the mistake, which is really, really important.
Mistake is the best, because mistake is not an error. It's something that you can make it as a benefit for your project. Yeah.
And also one more thing that I think that AI will take a long time, if ever, to replace. I think it maybe can never replace that. Is our mediators we are the mediators in the public arena between different actors, and how is AI going to replace that? So.
We don't know. Maybe a machine, a drone.
How do you let's return back to in today's context? Like, can architects really be mediators in today's world, where we think like we have this dominance of like the financial aspect of everything? Everything has to be described in a certain money value.
Yeah.
And it's more difficult to get a point across where you're trying to get...
This is why nobody wants to have architect now. This is why the general public is hating us. Because they think that we have maybe too much power, because we can explain, we can explain why this part is bad and why this part is better, and people doesn't react like that. They say, I like or I don't like. But liking and unliking is not a good solution. You have to be able to explain, and if you explain, maybe you make evolving your ideas. But people are really, the general public is more minimal than that. They want to be like or unlike. This is what they do on their telephone every day, all the time, and this is why it's complicated for everybody to have this development of ideas, developing of thinking, etc. This is why this is our role as educator to help people as a young generation to develop that, and it's complicated.
Yes, and also to go maybe beyond the arena of only the architects. We have to start engage with the public and be more educational in the sense. I think our position.
But it's difficult. It's very long and complicated to do that.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if we ever, as a discipline, thought long enough about that aspect of our profession. Like, there are several, NGOs here that are trying to, from, like, say, the field of urbanism, who are trying to explain to the public what's going on in our cities, how procedures go, why this is good, why this is bad for their life. And it's starting only to develop this, let's say, niche of our profession. And also, like, what we're trying to do.
With urban planning, it's easier because you're right. We have to explain.
Yeah.
We have to discuss. We have to explain. Yeah.